英文查经班
BSG-Bible Study Group
与神相处，了解神的心意。让我们每天一起来享受这15分钟的奇妙读经时刻吧。今日经文，聆听上帝对你说话，向神敞开心灵，求神亲自引导。
Moses was actually a shepherd near Mount Horeb. Can you imagine? From a prince in the palace to a humble shepherd, that's quite a journey.
Wow, I never thought about it that way. I guess it taught him humility and contentment.
Exactly. Sometimes, the most important lessons come from unexpected places. It's like how we learn and grow through our own experiences, even the tough ones.
That's true. I've been struggling with my studies, but maybe there's a purpose behind it, just like Moses' time as a shepherd.
You're absolutely right. God may be preparing you for something amazing, just like he did with Moses. Keep pushing forward and trust in his plan for your life.
Thanks for sharing. It gives me hope and encourages me to keep going.
You're welcome. Let's remember that every step in our journey has a purpose. God's timing is perfect, just like it was for Moses.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. Thanks for being there for me. Reverence and humility, Moses' encounter with God. About Moses' encounter with God at the burning bush. Moses, a humble shepherd, experienced a profound moment when God revealed himself through the burning bush. Though God identified as the God of his fathers and the covenant-keeping God, Moses was still overcome with fear and reverence. This reaction highlights the solemnity and awe that arise when we encounter God's presence. Even as God displays his grace and love through his covenant, it should deepen our humility, reverence, and respect.
今日经文，聆听上帝对你说话，向神敞开心灵，求神亲自引导。
Now Moses was tending the flock of Jethro his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the far side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him in flames of fire from within a bush. Moses saw that though the bush was on fire it did not burn up. So Moses thought, I will go over and see this strange sight, why the bush does not burn up. When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, Moses. Moses. And Moses said, Here I am. Do not come any closer, God said. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. Then he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac and the God of Jacob. At this, Moses hid his face, because he was afraid to look at God. The Lord said, I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians and to bring them up out of that land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey, the home of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites and Jebusites. And now the cry of the Israelites has reached me, and I have seen the way the Egyptians are oppressing them. So now, go. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people the Israelites out of Egypt. Exodus 3 verses 1 to 10 NIV.
The unburnt thorns, God's presence in the burning bush. The vision of the unburnt thorns brought great comfort to Moses and the Israelites, signifying that despite the intense fire of Egypt's oppression for 400 years, they remained resilient and unharmed, just like the unburnt bush. God's messenger appeared from within the flames, signifying that he never abandoned the Israelites but suffered alongside them. The reason the Israelites could be like the unburnt thorns was due to the covenant-keeping God, who had faithfully stood by them throughout the 4 centuries.
But Moses said to God, "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" And God said, "I will be with you. And this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God on this mountain." Moses said to God, "Suppose I go to the Israelites and say to them, 'The God of your fathers has sent me to you,' and they ask me, 'What is his name?' Then what shall I tell them?" God said to Moses, "I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites, 'I am has sent me to you.'" God also said to Moses, "Say to the Israelites, 'The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, the name you shall call me from generation to generation. Go, assemble the elders of Israel and say to them, 'The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, appeared to me and said, I have watched over you and have seen what has been done to you in Egypt. And I have promised to bring you up out of your misery in Egypt into the land of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites and Jebusites, a land flowing with milk and honey. The elders of Israel will listen to you. Then you and the elders are to go to the king of Egypt and say to him, The Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has met with us. Let us take a 3-day journey into the wilderness to offer sacrifices to the Lord our God. But I know that the king of Egypt will not let you go unless a mighty hand compels him. So I will stretch out my hand and strike the Egyptians with all the wonders that I will perform among them. After that, he will let you go. And I will make the Egyptians favorably disposed toward this people, so that when you leave you will not go empty-handed. Every woman is to ask her neighbor and any woman living in her house for articles of silver and gold and for clothing, which you will put on your sons and daughters. And so you will plunder the Egyptians. Exodus 3 verses 11 to 22 NIV.
Grace in the Exodus, a victorious departure. It witnessed the remarkable account of God's grace and favor towards the Israelites, who were once enslaved in Egypt but later obtained freedom to leave. Despite their earlier residence in Goshen, they became slaves to the Egyptians. However, God intervened, granting the Israelites favor in the eyes of the Egyptians, resulting in a willing surrender of their possessions. Instead of sneaking away like fugitives, the Israelites triumphantly departed from Egypt, laden with spoils and treasures, as if they were a conquering army. This display of grace not only ensured their liberation but also showcased God's providence and sovereignty in fulfilling His promises to His people.
字汇与句子。今日读到的，我们温故而知新。Taught him humility and contentment, 教会了他谦卑和满足。God identified as the God of his fathers and the covenant-keeping God, Moses was still overcome with fear and reverence. 神被认定为他列祖的神和守约的神，摩西仍然被恐惧和敬畏所征服。The bush was on fire, it did not burn up. 荆棘被火烧着，却没有烧毁。Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. 不要近前来。当把你脚上的鞋脱下来，因为你所站之的是圣地。I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. 我的百姓在埃及所受的困苦，我实在看见了。Signifying that despite the intense fire of Egypt's oppression for 400 years, they remained resilient and unharmed, just like the unburnt bush. 表示尽管埃及压迫了400年的猛烈大火，他们仍然坚韧不拔，毫发无伤，就像未燃烧的灌木丛一样。I am who I am, 我是自由拥有的。Instead of sneaking away like fugitives, the Israelites triumphantly departed from Egypt. 以色列人没有像逃犯一样偷偷溜走，而是得意洋洋地离开了埃及。Laden with spoils and treasures, as if they were a conquering army, 满载战利品和宝藏，仿佛他们是一支征服的军队。Grace not only ensured their liberation but also showcased God's providence and sovereignty in fulfilling His promises to His people. 恩典不仅确保他们的自由，而且彰显了上帝的护理和主权，以履行他对他子民的应许。
Contentment. Satisfaction, happiness. Dissatisfaction, discontent. He found contentment in simple pleasures. Sandal. Slipper, flip-flop. Boot, shoe. She wore a pair of comfortable sandals at the beach. Misery. Suffering, agony. Happiness, joy. The war brought misery to countless families. Resilient. Flexible, elastic. Rigid, inflexible. The resilient material can withstand heavy impact. Sneaking. Stealthy, furtive. Open, honest. He was caught sneaking into the building. Fugitive. Runaway, escapee. Resident, settler. The police pursued the fugitive across the country. Spoil. Pamper, indulge. Neglect, ignore. Don't spoil your children too much, they need to learn responsibility. Providence. Fate, destiny. Chance, coincidence. He believed it was providence that led him to the right path.
Satisfaction. 满足 Sense of satisfaction, 满足感 Feeling of contentment, 满足感 Find contentment, 找到满足 Happiness. 幸福快乐 Pursuit of happiness, 追求幸福 Experience contentment, 体验幸福 Long-lasting contentment, 持久的快乐 Fulfillment. 实现达成 Sense of fulfillment, 满足感 Personal contentment, 个人成就感 Find fulfillment in, 在中找到满足 Gratification. 满足喜悦 Instant gratification, 即时满足 Experience gratification, 体验喜悦 Derive contentment from, 从获得满足
Fugitive. 逃犯，亡命者。Fugitive from justice. 逃犯 capture a fugitive. 捕捉逃犯 be on the run as a fugitive. 作为逃亡者在逃。Runaway. 逃亡者，逃跑。Run away from home. 从家中出走 be considered a fugitive. 被视为逃犯 catch a runaway. 捕捉逃亡者。Escapee. 逃亡者，逃犯。Prison escapee, 越狱者 be hunted as a fugitive, 被视为逃亡者而遭追捕 become a fugitive, 成为逃亡者。Refugee. 难民，逃亡者。Political refugee, 政治难民 seek asylum as a fugitive, 作为逃亡者寻求庇护 flee as a refugee, 作为难民逃离。Fate. 命运，天意。Accept one's fate, 接受命运 believe in providence, 相信天意 leave it to providence, 交给天意处理。Destiny, 命运，天命。Shape one's destiny, 塑造命运 trust in providence, 信任天命 believe that providence guides us, 相信天命指引我们。Divine intervention, 上天的干预，天佑。Attribute success to divine intervention, 将成功归功于上天的干预 believe in providence and blessings, 相信天佑和祝福。Predestination, 预定，天命。Belief in predestination, 信仰预定 sense of providence, 对天命的感知 predestination of human life, 人生的天命。
Inferiority complex, 自卑感。Self-esteem, 自尊、自负。Overcome, 克服、战胜。Triumph, 胜利、成功。Self-confidence, 自信心。Resilience, 弹性、复原力。Empowerment, 赋权、授权。Self-worth, 自我价值。Ambition, 野心、抱负。Motivation, 动机、动力。Perseverance, 毅力、坚持不懈。Courage, 勇气。Determination, 决心、坚定。Self-acceptance, 自我接纳。Self-improvement, 自我提升。Breakthrough, 突破、突破性进展。Self-reliance, 自立。Overwhelmed, 不知所措的、压倒性的。Personal growth, 个人成长。Self-actualization, 自我实现。他对我说，我的恩典够你用的，因为我的能力在人的软弱上显得完全，所以我更喜欢夸自己的软弱，好叫基督的能力复庇我。But he said to me, My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. Corinthians 12章9节哥林多后书。No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. 永远不要将自己视为无能的人，因为没有人知道自己的潜能有多大。Eleanor Roosevelt 艾莲娜·罗斯福。
读经祷告，就在祷告的时候，我们能够感受到他的同在和安慰。用敬虔、谦卑和专注的心，神会听到并回应我们的祷告。祷告默想你的回应，并献上心志。
O sovereign God, who revealed yourself to Moses in the burning bush, I humbly approach your throne seeking solace and strength. As the Israelites endured for centuries of oppression, so do I face the burden of prolonged sleeplessness, which has ravaged my physical and mental well-being. Amidst the darkness of my restless nights, shine your divine light upon me, illuminating the path to restful slumber. Grant me the resilience to overcome this affliction, just as you bestowed upon your people the grace to triumph over Egypt. With unyielding faith, I implore you to deliver me from this prolonged hardship, for you are the God of compassion and mercy. In the shadow of your wings, grant me the tranquility that only your presence can bestow. Amen.
全能的神曾在燃烧的荆棘丛中向摩西显示自己，我谦卑地来到您的宝座寻求安慰和力量。就像以色列人忍受了4个世纪的压迫，我也面临着长期缺乏睡眠的重担，这已经影响了我的身心健康。在我不安宁的黑夜中，请用您的神圣之光照耀我，指引我走向宁静的安眠之路，赐予我克服这痛苦的坚韧，正如您赐给您的子民战胜埃及的恩典一样。我满怀坚定的信心，恳求您拯救我脱离这长期的困境，因为您是富有慈悲和怜悯的上帝。在您翅膀的荫下，赐给我只有您同在才能赋予的宁静。Amen。
诚挚感谢您今日的参与，不要忘记以言语或行为来分享你今日的领受。我们明天再见。